time now. We have Rupen Rajguru, Head of Equity Investment and Strategy at Julius Baer. Rupen, good to have you with us here. Thanks for joining in. So just a quick, I think our first conversation in 2026. So season's greetings and happy 26 to you, Rupen.
Happy New Year to you and the entire crew at CNBC.
It's a bit quiet, Rupen, isn't it? While the rest of the world is still is quite doing well, we are kind of continuing on that same trajectory, which is kind of hunting for triggers and not finding too many around. Would you agree, Rupen?
Prashant, I would say these are early days, and yes, from a trigger perspective, India definitely is lacking a trigger. And if I were to just look through from a global setup perspective, so typically any global allocators, they would look into 2-3 things, before allocating money. So whether either you are a macro trade, or you are a momentum trade, or are you a mispricing trade? So does India qualify in any of these three? Probably not at this juncture. Probably the macro trade currently from a global allocator perspective is still, precious metals, which is where, a lot of money is going. Momentum last year was AI. We have to wait and see whether this year how it will pan. And mispricing, while India has underperformed, but has India gone into a valuation zone, say, at what China was a year back? Because China clearly was a mispricing trade. Probably not. So in that sense, India is lacking trigger. So probably what will change would be the earnings. And I think that's historically always been the reason why market moves up. We have to wait and see how this quarterly earning pans out. But at the margin, what we believe the earnings growth going ahead would be much better than what it has been for last 6 to 7 quarters. So that's the setup. And we have to wait and see if the earnings comes through. Definitely, we will be in for positive surprises from the market.
Rupen, hi, afternoon. This is Rima here, and season's greetings. Happy New Year to you. You've liked airlines in the past. It's a sector where we are seeing consolidation, lowering of competitive intensity. There was a dominant player. Now, in early and middle of December, there was a crisis unfolding at India's dominant player, Indigo. Now, at such a time, we saw the stock price also fall very, very sharply. Did you use it as an opportunity to add to your holdings in airlines, or has it changed your view on the sector?
Yeah, hi, afternoon, Rima, and Happy New Year to you as well. So overall, our view on the sector still remains positive. And while definitely the news flow around December was a little bit concerning, and there has to be some readjustment in their overall, the way they do the hiring and all other stuff. But at the end, there will be definitely an impact in the quarterly numbers. But as a theme, we continue to like it. While because of the noise, we definitely saw the stock kind of giving off some of the gains which they had done in the last year. But from the overall theme perspective, and it also adds into our overall theme of premium consumption. So we continue to like this theme. And the incumbent, the largest player, definitely from a cash flow or operating cash flow perspective, we believe next 2 years they will make a very good amount of operating cash flow, and then post correction, definitely it is a pretty attractive from an overall valuation standpoint, notwithstanding the news flow, because news flow can come, more news flow can come through, but we remain constructive on that.
So did you buy the stock into Globe Aviation during the correction?
Yeah, I would refrain from commenting on individual actions, but we continue to remain constructive on that.
Okay, all right. Hi, Rupen. Good afternoon. Good to see you, Ben. And it's always been good speaking to you, not just about markets. Your positive energy is something that pulls me through sometimes. So good to connect. Tell us about, the tech space, because the first earnings are going to be off the block in the next few days. Rima is going to be in business. What's your view out there? I think in the past you've been talking about that being a tactical bet. How are you placed right now?
Yeah, hi, afternoon, Nigel. Always pleasure to be on your channel. As I had mentioned earlier, so tech, if usually there is a very strong positive correlation with the Nasdaq. probably 25 was the first year in which this correlation got broken, wherein Nasdaq broke out and our Indian tech went down. And clearly the reason was the AI being the new talk of the town and the new global momentum trade, and India was probably not part of it. And also because of the overall uncertainty around tariff, the US spending also on tech and all saw a little bit of slowdown. So come this year, do we see a significant pickup in that? The answer is no. But at the same time, if there is no strong US tech spending, typically the tech stocks or the more essentially the large cap stocks will become more a tactical trade. And as I'd mentioned sometime back on your channel, the PE range of say between 19 and 21, 22. So, it becomes a buy, I'm talking more of large cap IT names when it gets into 18, 19 PE and probably a sell when it becomes 21, 22 PE. So at current juncture, they are more towards the sell zone because it had gone down and it has had seen some recovery in the last quarter. But definitely there is a lot of action in the mid-cap space. And while AI is always, India has never been a what you call originator of any new themes, but India has always been an executor, an enabler. So now the big amount of spending has gone into the AI capex, the hardware side, and probably over the next 1-2 years, there will be more spending happening towards the software side, wherein the Indian guys will come into play. And historically, Indian guys always have been a play in that.
Yeah, Rupen, I just want to, apologies to interrupt. Pull up IEX. I'm not sure what has happened, but the stock's up 9% now. 9%. Is there something coming out of the courts, the tribunal? I don't know. But the last I checked, the last time I referred to those flashes, there's no addition. There was just observations. But this is another 5% jump on top of the 3% rise that I was sort of talking about earlier. And I'm not sure if, people in the court definitely know more than what we do here, but we are going to make an effort to get you details from what the tribunal says to you quickest and fastest. But it's a massive 8.5% move that we are looking at this point in time. So more in a bit from now, but we're still waiting. What we had and what we put out with us earlier was just observations. The tribunal, the court essentially saying, well, this is what we've been told and this should not happen. And, generic comments like CERC should be above any sort of questioning should be like Caesar's wife, etc., etc. So these are just observations. It's not leaning one way or the other unless there is something new which has come through from the tribunal, which we will try and get to you in just a bit from now. Otherwise, it is just fun and games. I don't know if there is anything new at this stage, but we will, as soon as something comes, we will put it out and go across to Ashmit, who's covering this for us. Hormuz is here with the spot.